I'm just kidding.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I am Big Al. That guy right there is Professor Keith, as always. And joining us is referee Matt Greene. What's up, Matt?
Not much.
We are coming off of a excellent show in Seven Valleys. It was excellent. Back to basics. And fans, I just saw recently, earlier today, that SWO released last month's show, which was Summer Series 10. So that's now available. That's available on the SWO YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check out SWO, if you don't get a chance to go to Seven Valleys, or you want to listen to the Professor and I do what we do, which is commentary, go on the SWO YouTube channel and check out Summer Series 10. It's available now.
I know a few people
for life.
I know a few people that do that are near me in Jersey that will wait for the YouTube videos, like ask me all the time, like, hey, is there a new video up? Is there a new video up? So
we have our old friend David Motorman, who was there last night, says,
yes. I see Dave
Sunday
again.
night means it's time to gather around the turnbuckle, and tonight we're ready to catch up with the adventures of referee Matt Greene. Adventures. So Matt, where you been? What have you been up to?
Nothing much going on.
The last time we had you was over about a year ago. So how you been?
I've been around. Like I said, I'm still floating around between Jersey and beyond. That's kind of the tri-state area. So I've been everywhere in the past year. I was off and on with the company Atlantic All-Star Wrestling. So they were a company out of Jersey run by Uncle Dino of the old ECW fame.
Right.
And then also been floating around with MAWA, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Association. You'll see a bunch of people if you've ever been to MAWA. It's a good show in South Jersey. You'll see guys like Vinny the Fixer. You'll see guys like Ed House. You know, a lot of new guys. A lot of young guys. They did a whole good revamp the past year or so. So it's a good little VFW hall right there in Somerdale, New Jersey. I've been where else?
Just one thing real quick. Is Ed House officially like our local version of Terry Funk yet? I don't know him at all, and I'm not trying to be mean to the guy or anything, but I swear to God, I've heard he was retiring like 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I was there the one time when he didn't retire. He threw his boots under the ring at the field house. So that wasn't a retirement. I don't know of any other retirement besides that time a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I could have sworn I've heard of at least one that it was supposed to be he was retiring or he was thinking of retiring. There was something.
There is no retirement in wrestling.
I know that's why
just get quiet. And
Zach Carlucci is retired. I don't know how many times. I think he retired like 3 times this year.
Yeah,
I think he retired like 5 times since we've known him, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've
Zach.
I've thought about it, but I have two people that won't let me. Being my wife won't let me walk away and quit, and then Mark Mess says you can't retire until I'm dead. So,
oh wow.
So I'm kind of stuck there.
So I guess you're working forever because Mark Mess is not allowed to die.
So let me ask you then, Matt, like, because you brought it up, have you thought about not doing this anymore? Like, it's crossed your mind then?
At times, like, cause I'm 38 years old, and there's me and my wife. We think about having a family, and I don't want to be on the indie road and not be there for my kid. But I'll keep doing it as long as my body holds up, and as long as I'm wanted, you know, and I'm doing stuff that makes sense. And right now, I am. I recently have been doing more stuff with another company out of Jersey called Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Guardians. They run a great event. We just ran a show at Roland College, Roland
Okay.
University. It was I posted a couple of pictures online, and it's a pretty cool. It was in the student hall, and it looked like a makeshift arena. Like it was a pretty cool setup. The students were jacked. And one of the guys, unfortunately lost his ring hoodie to the crowd. That's how jacked they were.
Wow.
Crazy. So so are you dialing it down then? Are you like
I'm being more
staying
selective.
more local, so to speak?
I'm being more selective. Like I still have a few things I like to check off. I haven't worked Maryland yet, which is I'd love to work Maryland. It's a state I haven't worked, and Ohio and of the tri-state area. So I've worked New Jersey, Delaware when I started, PA, and then I've worked New York one time, and I even got to go a little past that and work Connecticut. So I've been a little bit around that area. So I just have those two states, which has been it's hard to get those two locked in. So.
Yeah.
And when did you and remind everybody and folks, we've had Matt on before, so if you want to hear how he got into the business and all that stuff, I urge you to go and check out that interview. Just go search us on the YouTube channel or on this very channel. Just search up Matt Greene, and you'll find the first time we talked to him how he got into business. So we're not going to get much into that, but just remind everybody how long you been doing this now.
2016. So coming out, in my ninth year.
Yeah.
It's just it just took a while. Yeah, honestly, like I said, I didn't find the right school with the right price that I could afford, so I just kept looking, and I stumbled upon Mark's brother Troy at a show,
Yeah.
and we just kind of clicked, and I started going on rentals, and I still do them to this day. I still set up the ring to this day, and honestly,
You
it's
still do the teardown. Like 10
yeah,
years later, almost 10 years later, you still do the teardown.
yeah, it's a good skill to have because honestly, being what I do in the ring, you can't. It helps to have someone who knows if something doesn't feel right, then that's just it's not safe, and you want it to be safe
Right.
for everybody in the
Mhm.
ring.
As
If
your
there's any legacy that I know, that I've seen him on here, and he's been humble. But if there's anything that the Mess Brothers Dungeon can say is there people are going to always put them over, like that their rings are safe. They're never going to say
oh
that,
yeah.
especially when it came to back in the early 90s when they were doing house shows for Vince McMahon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard a bad thing about them or the rings.
Yeah,
And if the Mess brothers, whether it be Mark or Troy, watch this later on, happy belated birthday to Troy. That was
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
that was
Totally.
last week.
yep. Yeah, and like I said, and then with their newest partner, the newest head trainer of the dungeon now is Jason Havoc. So
Mhm.
anybody who's looking to get started, Jason has just as much experience in the ring as they do. So, like
Yeah,
I said,
please let's plug the dungeon, man.
Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said, Jason Havoc took over the last year, and he's I've seen a big change in the way students are taking to the business. They're really having a respect for it. So, like I said, just hit up Jason Havoc on whatever. I think he's mostly a Facebook guy, and I believe there's a phone number on the website too. So, I believe it's called. I think it's workers you now. So.
So was it always the thing about being the referee, or did you want to wrestle, or did when you first got into it, was it like just something that fell on your lap due to training? Because I know a lot of guys when they start training, they referee, they have to learn. It's part of their training so that they can learn
Yeah.
ring awareness and things like that.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, since I did start so late, like I did start training at 29 years old, and I was learning how to bump. I was learning all the basics, and for some reason, I just kind of fell into it. Like I used to read a lot of the books growing up, and so high school. So I used to just absorb all the stuff that guys were saying about keeping stuff in your bag just in case they need it. So like Ryan Vox he just said, "Hey, you want to do this for a show?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I did, and then it it was more or less him that saw it in me for some reason. Like it's weird because I'm not the shortest ref out there, so it's
Right.
to certain cases it's I don't want to tower over some of these guys,
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could have a match where you have two smaller guys and you're the biggest guy in the ring.
Yeah, and it happens more and more often than that. But like I
Right.
said, I've enjoyed it. Like I said, if the opportunity came up and the right story to elevate somebody, I would definitely like to have that just one because, like I said, I've never done it, but I feel like being a referee, I've been able to see things a little bit different that a trainee who's never done it can't necessarily see it. Like you see things differently, you hear things differently, especially if you get a chance to be on an IFB where you have somebody listening in your ear, and telling you, "Hey, I know how to time stuff properly. I know how to communicate the wrestlers properly." Like 'cause sometimes you have a newbie in there with a guy who's more experienced that needs you to tell that newbie, "Hey, tell him to do this or that," and there's a difference between, just like with wrestlers, there's a wrestler and there's a worker. There's a referee and then there's a worker. And I
Right.
think I've considered myself a worker now because I'm not just throwing myself in there in a ref shirt and just counting at three. I'm trying to, elevate the wrestlers while
Sure.
not being seen at the same time. Like and I think for the most part I try to do that to the best of my ability because it's not about me.
There's a
Mhm.
fine line, and we hear that a lot from Carlucci. Like Carlucci will say that he'll say, I try to be animated and I try to be
Yeah.
enhance the product by like stepping in between them and breaking it up in
Yep.
the corner and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But he doesn't want to make a spectacle of himself. He doesn't want it to be about
Yep.
him. He
Yeah.
has
It's
said
better
that
to be
he
heard
has
than
said that
seen.
100 times.
The goal is to be loud and not seen. So like you just got to be loud so the fans can hear you count, and that's about it. And then kind of ignore the rest of it because, especially when I used to be at Quakertown, those fans are something else.
Yeah, they are.
And I've gotten some interesting things said. So
We're trying to figure
Yeah.
out what they are. There's a few more tests we got results we're waiting for.
I mean it's no better than
You're just trying to not make it out of that building one night, aren't you, Al?
Listen, I love Quakertown. You want to know why? Because Quakertown allows me the privilege to come on down there once a month and give my opinion on professional wrestling. Just because that you think that I should suck up to them for that privilege, that's on you.
I never said suck up. I just meant a basic level of human respect.
plus. Like I said, who do the fans really want to hear? Do they want to hear you or Carolina Jim? I'm just saying.
Wow. I'll take that. Okay,
There's a
I'll take that. Thank
I
you,
love
Matt.
Jim though. I do.
By the way, Carolina Jim's going to be there this Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
I think he has no more conflicts this year.
His team got a win this week. Oh my God, they obliterated the Falcons.
Oh wow.
How about that?
Hey, that means he'll be happy then, right?
Oh, he'll be in a good mood.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he should be.
Yeah.
Now, Jim
Yeah,
was,
I'm sure he'll have all
the cool
gear
thing
and
about Jim is
everything.
when I first decided to start trying to ring announce, like he was one of my mentors, and he
Yeah.
was really cool about certain things and the preparedness of it all before the show starts.
Yep.
And
Yep.
all that stuff, and showing me little tricks of the trades and showing me little
Yeah.
things that he's done. So he's been really cool to me from day one
Yeah.
as far as ring announcing goes. But this Saturday I'll be right next to the professor to annoy him at the commentary table.
And I'm sure Al, like I'm sure you when you worked with Zach or even Lance, that you've had that communication with them too, because sometimes you're not told everything when you're on the mic.
Well, you correct. Yes. all right, not so much Lance because he's not very good at communicating, but
Oh,
Zach, yes.
And counting, I hear, but I hear the fans.
Lance, if you're watching this later, he said that, I didn't. All right, so anyway,
one day Lance is going to get you in the ring. Or there's going to be a match or something. It's going to
I've
be
been in the ring with Lance.
Lance is going to get 5 minutes. Just do whatever.
No.
Take his frustrations out.
You know what? I've learned
Anyway,
a lot.
Matt,
I learned a lot from Lance in my early years, so I can't.
Yeah, you
say
learned
that.
from him.
Yeah, but like I said, we grew up. We were the main two for a lot of years at Outbreak. So between Outbreak and then Triple W, we did a lot of shows, especially when we were at the Coventry Mall, which I missed that. I missed when Triple WA was there. That was a good building.
Yeah, we missed that because we never got to experience it. We started going to Quakertown about 5 years ago. So
everybody that's still around from the old crew has always said how good Coventry was.
Oh, it was a big building and it was loud, and there were a lot more fans in that. We were in two different places. One was, I think, at the old Hallmark store, and then the other one was some other store, but it was packed.
Oh, nice.
Really, we packed that building.
Yeah, you get some square footage on that.
Yeah,
that's the only thing about the Q Mart is I don't wish we were somewhere else because I enjoy the Quakertown audience and I appreciate the hell out of all the regulars that show up every month and are loud and are there and all of that. But it would be nice if we could just be in a bigger space.
Right?
Either there or close to
in Norristown at all.
I mean, for having entrance, for God's sakes, their entrances aisle is about like 3 feet long, and then they have, so to even have that, so that they could really show their character other than just getting in the ring and doing what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that's why it felt weird a couple weeks ago being in that college. And literally, like I said, it was in the center of a student union. We were walking down the steps, and it was just, you're looking up, and the one hallway was kind of like a second rafter.
Oh, neat.
Kind of like calling it I'll compare it to say the Mall of America, but a little smaller. So it was like people standing up top on the second level, and it was interesting.
What was the biggest crowd that you ever had the privilege of being part of that show?
Like I said, it was between the college there recently. In the early days of Outbreak, we had some crowds there for a minute, especially when Ian Bush was champion.
Yeah.
And then I would say, as weird as it sounds, when I was working the Jersey shows, it was a year or so ago down for CZW. We had a loud building down there, and those fans are crazy. So, like I said,
CCW fans are what's left of the ECW crowd, right? Like they're bloodthirsty death match.
They want that death match, and luckily, I did all the regular matches. My last show there, I didn't do any death match except for if you count trying to close the cage door and Mickey Knuckles freaking throwing the guy at the door and the glass, seeing the glass go by my face, and I'm like, oh crap. Yeah.
So 9 years in,
not my cup of tea, but hey,
it's not ours either, really. But to each their own. If that's what you like, that's what you like.
More power to you. I know some guys that work down there. They're proud as hell that. Yeah, they work for CZW. They love CZW. God bless them. I love them.
Breaking news to all you Cowboy fans out there: I am sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I saw that they were losing before we got on. So,
to my late brother's Bears. There you go, buddy. All right. Anyway,
Bears.
9 years in, almost 10 years in, you had to have some memorable moments or matches, or maybe even some big household names that you might have refereed.
Yeah, honestly, I've from my early days working up in Allentown, the first game I got to work, and it was at this weird building for Samu. It was called Game Changer World up in Allentown. It was a pretty cool place. They had axe throwing and stuff like that, games and stuff. And Dylan, who you've had on, he had me booked, and he goes, "You're going to work the main," and he goes, "You're going to work with Tommy." Well, I thought he meant Tommy Vex, but it was Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, how about that?
And I'm sitting in the locker room, and he sits right next to me. And then again, he asked me who were you trained by, and I said Mark Bass. He goes, oh crap, because they used to work together in the Savoldi era. So he told me to text Mark and Troy. Said they hope they're doing well, and and the one thing Tommy said that was funny was, and I can take it on a cheek. He said everything was good. He said, you have a future. You just gotta well, in his words, he put it nicely, trim up a bit. So,
So was that early? Was that early on in your refereeing career?
That was back in probably 2017, 18. So that was when he was probably more indies. Maybe he was Impact a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to remember
it's
that time.
Interesting. He's telling a referee to trim up.
He
You know
might
what I
have been on a
mean?
run with them too.
Yeah, and also, like I said, it's good to I try to keep myself, as good as I can, because, like I said, I never wanted to be. I see referees on the scene, and I'm like, I don't want to be that, and not me being mean, but I like being presentable. Like I have a gear bag that I like to. If you know what this is going to be a reference, I don't know if you listen to different podcasts, but Arn Anderson said Bobby Eaton was the best person in the locker room. Like he had everything that you would need. Like, and that's I keep extra pairs of pants in my gear bag. I keep extra pairs of gloves. I even have sometimes gear that I've given guys and let them borrow. Like, honestly, Matt Clay's first pair of tights during COVID were a pair of tights on the ball. So if you ever saw him in a pair of blue tights,
he's got a big. He's come a long ways, man. He's got a big championship match coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw that advertised. Yeah, we've had the Hammer on here.
Yeah, I've got to see him get hard weighed one time, so that was fun. Wasn't expecting it, so
I guess he wasn't either.
I got to work with Nunzio a couple times for 2 different promotions.
What's up, Chris?
He said something really cool to me the one time, and he goes, his finish. He was going to the finish, and he was doing a roll up, and his foot got caught on the rope, and I called it off as a 2. And then when I got to the back, he said that was a good job because I made him work on the fly to think of a new finish. So. And that comes from somebody who he was a ref for a short time.
Yeah,
I had the privilege of announcing Nunzio at an SWO show.
Yep, I had the call on his match. That was definitely a career highlight so far. I absolutely love Nunzio's work. I still think he's criminally underrated.
So
and I got to see in the early days of Outbreak. I got to see the early. It's probably still on YouTube. I got to see the early Ace Austin. Before he was on TV, so that was pretty cool to see that now. That he's gone from TNA to now, I guess, AEW. So so that's a pretty big deal. I mean, who else? I've gotten to do seminars with guys like Raven, Al Snow. I got to be. I didn't get to be a part of it, but I took a bump, and then Maven came in and. He took over. He counted the finish in the one match at the field house. So I mean, Maven kind of walked over me to, and he was a really cool guy. He's as down to earth as his podcast. Those clips I see on YouTube, paying him out. He's a down to earth guy.
So my very first ever time ring announcing was for AXW. I think you were there. Were you there?
Yep. Yeah, I remember that was
Hamburg Fieldhouse, and Mil Mascaris was there.
Yeah, I think I remember standing next to you because I think.
I got to. That was a cool thing that we both got to experience there with Mil Mascaris.
Oh, and then also the cool thing was Joe Gertner when he was there.
Joe Gertner, that's one of Keith's favorite people.
He was there, and Corey Cross, who's a big fan of him, got to do the spot with him, and they were both in the ring, and I'm trying my best not to laugh because they're just having fun with it. Like it's hard not to crack on certain things like that,
Right.
Seeing a guy like Joe Gertner, and then let's see who else can I say? I mean, trying to think of names. There's, ooh, man.
Chris Vant is here, one of our friends down south. He says, "Is there a match that you remember that you that was like wow when you were done? You're like, oh my god, I just refereed that match."
I mean, one that I remember very specifically was for Outbreak. It was Mac Mayhem versus Louis G. Rich, and it's also remembrance because a month before that I broke my foot
Oh,
working at a gym, so I didn't really do. I came back and honestly, if you watch that whole show going back to that show, I was I was a little bit grabbing the ropes and stuff that I wouldn't normally do that help myself get up because I came back too soon. I was on crutches getting into the building, but that match was just because I worked with Mac Mayhem a lot, Matt Wild, Matt Mayhem, whatever you want to call him, but
yeah,
just those two had so much good chemistry. I believe it's probably still on YouTube under Outbreak Wrestling. And
sure.
then also like there's been matches that I've definitely had fun with. Like I'm trying to think recently. I'm trying to think if there's one recently I've had. There's been a couple that I'm just blanking on right now, but
But
I
what
know
was the most recent show you just refereed?
it was Dog, Dangerous Wrestling Gladiators, and there was a match with Vinny the Fixer versus oh man who man I'm but he was defending the championship,
Hmm.
and Vinny's a veteran. He's been around a while, and for being the veteran he was doing the old school, and then he even took the bump, and he was probably doing it at the same age probably Taker was doing it before he retired. Like he's probably in his 40s, taking that bump off the thing, and I was just like, and then just the heat he was getting for it, like seeing some of these vets not do much but still get that heat is quite rewarding. Like I said, the I would say though I never really got to be in the ring with my trainers, which kind of stinks. But you know
Mm.
what? Most recently, there's a show up in Lewistown that I'll be back out on the 11th of October, and been kind of taking a different role with that with Jason Havoc as well, where Jason's just became the full time owner authority figure, and I might have helped him, because some
Bless
refs
you.
they don't know how to count. They just So I might have helped him procure that. Some might say it was the Lewistown screw job, but that's their opinion. You can go on I think HWF and check that out. It's Honorary Wrestling Federation on
There you go.
Instagram or
You
whatever.
be the judge.
Exactly.
And you be the judge. Yeah. Have you ever thought about, now that, you had mentioned earlier that you were winding it down and staying more local? You ever thought about like training or like, you know, joining somebody like say the mess or whoever and as far part of their training crew as far as refereeing goes?
I try to go up to training whenever I can, just to whatever if Jason needs help because he's the head trainer, and if he needs me to help because we have a couple kids that might benefit from learning a little bit on that side of it. So I'm definitely open to helping out. Like I said, I'm still willing to get in there and to chain around a bit. I'm bumping. I have a few bumps here and there that I might have left, but I'm bumping is something I try to leave to a minimum. I have a few issues that I'm battling with, and just trying to keep myself in the best shape that I can.
Hear that?
Yeah, like I said, and like I said, it's thanks to say that because, like I said, I'm 38, but like I said, I've between the bumps I have taken and the amount of ring time I've done, it's taken a little toll. Like I said, luckily we have a good setup, and they usually have a few extra guys that usually can help me and mark out. But it's still not easy. Yeah, rings rings aren't the lightest sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And then the days aren't always short either. We most of the time we're in at noon time, sometimes earlier. Sometimes don't leave the building till like midnight or after. So
It's a long day.
Yeah, long day. A lot of caffeine.
How much?
We can't do like the 80s, so
No. We
I hear
want
that- I
to
hear the
behave ourselves.
How much? How much time do you spend paying any attention to either WWE or AEW or whatever your favorite is?
I try to catch it weekly. Sometimes it's on the DVR for a while because during COVID, I really from overall story arc, TNA became like what really
The go-to.
Yeah, like because like I said, they have the story, but they're like in that middle. Like they have
They're somewhere in between AEW and WWE, right?
like I said,
Yeah.
and they just started really getting
Like NXT, I feel is that way too.
Yeah, and that's probably why they
some...
did the partnership, And so,
what do you think of, and I don't know if I don't know if Keith's aware, but Saturday on WrestlePalooza. Now, I did not see WrestlePalooza at all, not 1 minute of it, and I refuse to get the ESPN app for the PLEs, so I'm probably not gonna see them. But I did see a clip that I came across of the Undertaker inducting Stephanie McMahon or naming Stephanie McMahon as the first member of the WWE Hall of Fame in 2026. I wanted your guys' both opinions on that.
Oh, she deserves it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little early. Like it's September. Like you can at least wait till like the Rumble,
the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but I get why they did it. They wanted to make it a big deal. It's their first show on ESPN. They wanted something newsworthy and buzzy. I forget where they had it. Didn't they have it somewhere for like the first time too? It's like the first time they've had WWE or the first time they've had it in like 1,000 years or something like that.
What, this Saturday?
Yeah, where were they for this?
They were in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And it was the first ever WrestlePalooza, and I guess WrestlePalooza is supposed, I mean, they built it like it was like a WrestleMania / SummerSlam event. And in many people's eyes,
I wonder if that name came from Paul Heyman. Because
I'm sure it did. I mean, they own
that was a ECW pay-per-view back in the day.
But to me,
I've seen them slowly kind of incorporate stuff like that sneakily, like Wave and NXT, and I could see them pulling more of those old names where they feel like they're worth something. I don't think we'll ever see like a Hardcore Heaven or a November to Remember,
but from what I'm hearing from fans is that it was more like an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event than a PLE.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because it's not the old pay-per-view thing. They're pretty much all kind of all the same except for
the mixed tag match was entertaining. Stephanie Vaquer versus EO was entertaining, I was told. But other than that, the rest of the show, Cena and Lesnar was what it was, but it was a squash match, really.
You don't even need to watch. You can just put on whatever social media gimmick you have, and you can see it there like 10 seconds later.
Right.
YouTube. I've known people that have they watch Raw or SmackDown or any of it just on YouTube, and I think a lot more people are going to do that lately.
I have Netflix for Raw, but I have no access to SmackDown or NXT. And
I thought you had the Hulu with live TV gimmick.
No. And I have Peacock because I cracked down and got that because actually Peacock has other things other than wrestling that it's got movies and stuff. Yeah. So I still have Peacock because they're gonna have Saturday Night's Main Events still.
Yeah, I originally got Sling because that's where you can find TNA on Access. So,
but I'm not buying the $29.99 deal.
Yeah.
I got enough subscriptions.
I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up with you watched Channel 99, the bars across the sound.
Chris asked you, how do you referee a championship match knowing that you could be there a while? I
Honestly,
mean, is it a guarantee that a championship match is going to be a little longer?
no,
Not
I mean,
necessarily.
so
It's
not necessarily, right?
wherever it is on the card, because
Yeah.
sometimes you have the tag team match, sometimes you have a women's match, and then you have a heavyweight. Like just recently, I had I just drew the number where like me and the other ref I was working with, we drew evens and odds, and I had the women's match, which I did, and then I had the tag match, and then I had the hardest one, not the hardest, but the one if you draw the last match on the card, that's usually going to be your longest match because everybody else got on already. So as long as the promoter doesn't need to get out of the building, uh, you can honestly go as long as you want. I mean, within reason. I mean, like I said, I didn't draw that last match at the last event. It was David Goldie, I believe, versus Red Titus. So that was a fun match to watch, though.
Greg the Thundercat from Alabama is here, and he says crazy thing is people think that Cena is being used wrong on his retirement run, but people don't understand that he is part of the main decision making when it comes to his retirement. So he's part of the decision making
Oh
as
yeah,
far as
absolutely.
what he wants to do.
Yeah,
So I mean, obviously, if he goes in there and he beats Brock Lesnar yesterday, well, where do you go from there? Brock just
yeah.
came back, right? Now, did he have to squash him? No, but I'm just saying that for him to give him, well, I heard it was like 3 attitude adjustments and he kicked out, or
Yeah.
he no sold it. Really, he just got up and gave him an F5 and pinned him.
And I mean too, if you're going to get more out of Lesnar, and I assume that they probably have Lesnar signed for at least a few more dates, even if he's not going to wrestle John Cena again at any point during this run, now Lesnar's got that stat to take wrestling anybody else. So now if somebody beats Brock,
Yeah, if he
now
even
that's that much more impressive.
Yeah.
And it was a
And
way to
putting him
remind
back
everybody
with
that
Heyman is
Brock
the right
came
thing to
back
do
like,
too. I
holy
think.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
Matt,
probably-
you've
probably
been a referee
some of
for
it.
9 years. Have you ever thought about, because Professor and I talked about this last night? It's a dying art, managing in wrestling, because
Oh.
in the WWE, you don't see it really hardly at all anymore. You have Heyman, and that's pretty much it. But like
if
in
it
the
makes sense,
indies,
NW, I
you,
think,
you
is
see one guy
phallic.
here and one guy there. But you ever felt like you want to embrace the creative side of you and come up with some kind of devious
I mean,
manager character?
if I had a promotion that it made sense with, like right now, if they'd be wanting to, like, I could do kind of a go off and do a Bill Alfonso right now, with the way I'm working up in HWF where he went,
The evil referee.
yeah, and then he just became a manager with Sabu and Taz and then RVD, so like. I could do that, or like I said, or just whatever they need. Like I've even, I've booked in my head about like watching the amount of times Earl Hebner had like a babyface ref match with somebody where he got to have that fun. Where the times when he faced Nick Patrick was a fun match, and that's honestly. It's one of the names I get because of my height. I get that Nick Patrick call.
Nick Patrick.
So, and then funny thing was he was one of those guys I was hoping to meet at one of those Legends Fest, and fortunately, I think I was when his father got sick that year. So, but meeting Earl was just as cool.
Yeah.
Earl was really fun.
Yeah.
As soon as he got back through the curtain that show. There was a beer waiting for him, and he indulged in it. So, Earl he's still young at heart, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, I kind of like to see Lesnar maybe pass the torch to somebody like Braun Breaker. Yeah, so if they
That works.
if they put Lesnar in the vision with that group with Heyman, that could be a thing where there's a dissension in the ranks on who the alpha male is there.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
That's if they can actually get people to hate Braun Breaker, because I don't feel like anybody really hates.
They're trying. I mean, he's yelling and screaming. Even after I saw a clip where he was yelling and screaming at the crowd.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, at the post show of WrestlePalooza, like he's up on stage yelling and screaming at the crowd and calling some lady a fat ass or something. And Paul Heyman's like, Braun, we can't do that now. And
well, he
this
was
is
trying
it's
to
a
be his
different.
uncle. Okay,
Yeah.
his uncle. That's what his uncle used to call people fat all the time.
You're right. You're right.
Back
Well,
when he
if
used
It's a
Braun
new
Breaker ever
time,
figures
Braun.
out how to
promo with
fat,
It's a new
he's
time.
doing
You
it
can't be
forever.
calling the fans any names now. It's a new time.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, that's not as bad as calling your opponent something, because I learned back in the day is however you perceive your opponent and you beat him, that means you beat an old guy. You beat
Yep, I got
fat guy. You want to know that you beat someone, not just that you beat, makes you look better if you beat someone that was credible.
I see guys all the time that will call their opponent old or fat or out of shape, and it's guys that should fucking know better. And I'm
Right.
just like, fuck, what? No, why?
Yeah.
Our old friend Anthony Joseph is here, Professor. We have not seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
And he chimes in with Lesnar's getting old. The Cena squash made no sense to me. That's coming from a true Cena fan, AJ, and I appreciate your comment. By the way, I'm rooting for the Giants tonight, believe it or not.
Okay.
I mean, like I just said, Cena is here to give back. He is not here to have a greatest hits. Let me beat everybody. Let me look like, Captain Dominance and screw everybody up.
He's got like 4 or 5 dates left, right?
Yeah, it's like, let me work some programs with people. Let me get some people shiny.
Who should be his last match?
I mean,
tough one, right?
I mean, there's two that come to mind, but I don't think I don't think they're going to be unsigned with another company anytime soon. Either Edge or Jericho would be like
Edge did a tribute to him on the AEW pay-per-view. He did the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Or if he could go, a third one would be, the classic one that he never got to have his retirement match, Kurt Angle. Or Kurt's a little bit beat up.
I think Kurt is done. Jericho, I think, might come back, but I think.
Well, would he come back in time?
That's the thing. I've heard that where his contract sits, he would probably not be able to come back in time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy that they would run to Tony Khan and be like, what'll it take?
Yeah.
I don't think they see that level of need.
Thank you, sir, for doing what you do. Refereeing. He's meant there is still a job. It absolutely is.
Absolutely.
Heat is heat, brother.
Third man in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, but he does heat. Doesn't matter who you want.
Thundercat.
Everyone used to be encouraged to piss people off or make them happy. Like,
that's. I mean, it still happens. Honestly, like I said,
back in my day.
Being in the ring, like I said a couple of months ago, and if you don't know Lewistown, Lewistown is a very city that lets you know how they feel.
Yeah,
and they let us know a few words when we because recently Jason had a match with the wife of one of the tag champions for HWF, Matt Silks. Mm-hmm. His wife, he picked. He said the contract said Silks, so he picked Matt's wife. So she was in the ring with Jason, and like I said, Jason, there was no doubt he was going to come out on top.
Right.
Come on, he's not going to be beat by some person.
Right. I think Kurt could do one more, Austin did, and I'm sure they could take care of him, says Thundercat.
I'm sure they would, but I feel like Kurt's a guy that because Kurt would have to go less than 100%.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Probably much less than 100%.
Yep. I still think Randy should be his last match. Randy Orton.
Kurt's a guy that I think we did that though.
We did it, but
Did it
for
when
his last match.
But I feel like if it's his
You
last,
want him to wrestle Cody then? I mean, at the end, or
no,
Roman?
no, I would rather see him put somebody over on the way out because I always favor that. It's
How
just
about Roman?
who do you put? Somebody who
He
somebody,
never wrestled. Did he wrestle Roman? I don't remember.
No, I don't think he and Roman ever really touched, or if they did, it was like
I don't
a
remember.
million years ago, well before the tribal chief. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I feel like it should be somebody who can get something out of it, can kind of next level off of it. But then it's who do you have that's ready
young enough,
and is ready for it?
Yeah.
No one said beat everyone, but fuck squash him. Like that was kind of pointless. What's it for to put Lesnar over? We do. I can't read it. Over. Do we need to do that? Next thing he's gonna need is sexual favors. Oh wait. Yeah.
Well,
Let's see.
like I said,
You're trying to get some monetization out of this video.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my thing is always
Brock Lesnar's not going to see this video, Matt.
No, thank God.
Or anybody from WWE. Most likely.
Yeah, we'll die if Brock Lesnar sees it. It's what I always say about like wait and see, because it's like if it was, yes, they do dumb things and they don't.
Baron Corbin. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Keith.
Is he still? Yeah, he's still in the business. He's somewhere.
Is he still in the business?
Yeah, he's on the Indies.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I remember hearing something about him not too long ago.
Matt Cardona. All right, keep going, Keith. I'm sorry.
I'd be down for Matt Cardona. It's not going to happen, but I'd be down for it.
Matt Cardona versus John Cena?
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Not going to happen, but I'd be down for it.
Yeah, because he's too happy on the Indies.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those guys that they've lost.
I mean, if Owens wasn't injured, maybe Kevin Owens.
That would be yeah.
I just don't know if he's still injured or not.
But
it's
I mean,
a debate that we won't know until December, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, back to the Brock Lesnar thing. It's what you do with him ultimately.
Yeah.
Because you've now given him such shine. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, I saw they made a poster already for Survivor Series, I guess.
Yeah, because in theory, if you're shining him up like that, you have somebody to take that. At least you should. Because, yeah, Brock's old, Brock's cranky, Brock doesn't want to work a lot. Brock's probably not going to want to do this for, I'd say, five more years on the limited schedule he has. Maybe.
What, Rock? Did you say Rock?
Brock.
I heard he's like 180 pounds these days.
Yeah, Rock's fucking. I really thought we were gonna get Rock and Cena somewhere on this tour too, but fuck, that ain't gonna happen.
He got off the gas. What happened?
I don't know. I remember Kevin Nash had an extended segment about it, and honestly, I'm worried. Like that kind of loss is.
I think it was probably for a movie.
Was it for a movie?
That's what they're trying to say. Nash
I thought he bulked up for the UFC movie. He just did a movie where he played a UFC guy, right?
Yeah.
And then but you might be right. He might have had to lose weight for a movie or whatever.
Yeah, since he's kind of committed to that now.
Yeah, and I mean, as will Cena be when this tour is over.
He's so good in Peacemaker.
Yeah,
it's funny when he does comedies. That's where he belongs. He doesn't belong like the action hero so much, but when he does comedies like that, or anything, or even zany comedies like that, that's where he thrives, and that's where that's where I remember I like the movie Cockblockers. That's my favorite John Cena movie. That's so funny. I could watch that all the time. My wife loved that one. That was a funny one.
That was the one he played a dad, wasn't it?
He was a dad, and they were kind of like, his daughter was gonna lose her virginity on prom night or whatever, and he ended up at a party where he put he put a funnel of beer up his rear end and shit like that. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen parts of it. Yeah,
it's fun. It's funny. It's real funny, but
So I mean, it's again, it all comes back
Ricky
to
Stenicki too. I like Ricky Stenicki.
If we're a year from now and Brock Lesnar squashed John Cena and then he squashes every young guy on the roster, then yeah, it was fucking stupid. It was pointless. They should have never done it. If
Right.
we're here a year from now and it's like they did that and then Braun Breaker fucking like owned Brock Lesnar or somebody like that, just like that's how you got Oba Femi up, is like Lesnar did some kind of, fuck this place, open challenge, give me whoever, and like Oba Femi comes up and fucks him up.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
That's
then.
the way to do it.
Then it's worth it.
And I don't know if those guys are over enough for that. Like even
Oba Femi?
Oba Femi's getting close.
I don't
Oba
get
Femi's
NXT enough, so.
Yeah, I'm a big Oba Femi guy.
I only know Trick Williams because of TNA, so that's why.
Right.
Trick's over enough.
Yeah.
Are you a Joe Hendry? Are you a Joe Hendry fan there, Matt?
He has a good thing going for him. He's, like I said, to get over the way he got over.
The gimmick's great. I'm sorry, but it's entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Just say his name and he appears. That's what happens.
And it's been a meme, everywhere.
It's been a theme on Around the Turnbuckle that if we say a certain wrestler's name, which I will not name so he doesn't appear, he'll appear.
Like Beetlejuice.
As long as you don't have one that starts with two initials, one of them being a J.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That'd be the one.
Yeah.
I believe in Joe Hendry. See?
Hopefully that guy went to bed.
Yeah.
And I am feeling his catchphrase. So I did a lot of his early matches too.
So what if you could give advice to that person that like wants to get into business and if they think to themselves, well, I just want to be part of the business one way or another. I know I'm not athletically inclined to be a wrestler, but maybe I could referee. Like we had our friend Mike Bucciaroni, who's like in his 60s, try it for the first time, and man, he did great. He did great.
Really
so what kind of advice would you give anybody from say ages 20 to 60 if they really wanted to try this, something that they always maybe wanted to check off the bucket list?
Honestly, it's just it helps to know how to get started like a wrestler does. So like take those early bumps, see how it feels, learn the basic wrestling like chain and stuff like that, because it helps what a hold should look like and how to call something. Yeah. And then also just, being in the proper shape. Like I said, again, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I'm through some of my injuries. I'm not where I'd like to be.
Have you had a lot of injuries?
It's just recently, like I said, I've had, I incurred, some pain in my sternum. I took a shot one time. My rotator cuff, just from going like this a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
But you throw a little bit of heat on that, it gets me through. Like I said, I broke my foot, but that was outside of the ring. Like I said, the knees sometimes don't always feel the best, but that's why I try to keep myself in the gym. I try to keep myself as healthy as I can. That way, like I said, I can keep going. And I'm not, if I can, I recently did a show a couple months ago where the other ref didn't show up, and I had to do, I think it was like 15 matches in a hot summer building, and I got through it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't always fun, but I did it. Just making sure you can keep up, because sometimes you're in a ring with, like, I'll say it's mostly little guys or some guys that have that wrestling background where they're going to be doing the pins back and forth, and you're going to be on that mat just as much as them, like getting down on your knees, getting down on your hips, going from corner to corner. Like, you got to be able to, just in as much shape, I don't want to say better, but I like to try to keep myself in that shape.
It's real physical. It's more physical than people give it credit for.
You will get repetitive motion injuries, like you were talking about. I have a buddy that was a referee for a lot of years, worked for the Samoans and whatnot, like you did, and his rotator cuffs are shit. Like his counting arm is fucked up. He has pain all the time. His knees are shot because he did a lot of bumping and stuff like
Right.
that back in the day. And
That's why I don't understand. I've met refs that don't wear knee pads, and I don't understand it because I couldn't imagine not wearing knee pads. I wear actually sometimes I have a little set, and then I wear a bigger type one over one of my knees that I decided I get down on and count more because I'm just trying to protect myself. And there's some guys that don't. So
Your buddy Lance Marshalls used to wear two,
yeah,
but he forgot how to count that high,
yeah.
so he only wears one now.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it definitely he definitely I saw it from him, and like I said, I just always wanted to take care of my body because like I said, if I am privileged enough to have a child, I want to be able to run around with them, and
Well, yeah, man. You
Yeah.
mentioned it since you brought that up, man. You mentioned it before we went on the air that you and the wife are thinking about having a little one running around. So we wish you nothing but the best of luck for that, brother. I mean,
yeah,
being a dad, professor over there, he's like a stepdad over there. Like he knows it's not it's an everyday 24/7 crazy thing, and once you feel that, man, best of luck to you, brother.
and the worst part about that I've learned from other guys is if you do stick around, you are gonna want to get back in there and like see them in there because I've seen plenty of guys that walked away, but
yeah.
they wanted to show their kid what they did,
Mm.
for a lot of their life. So
So you come back.
yeah, so they come back and
So
they
yeah,
have
you
that
go
one
be a
match.
dad, and then when he's old enough, he or she is old enough to come to the shows.
Oh, I've seen a lot of kids up at
Oh
the
yeah.
school in my time. It's crazy the kids that I've seen
You
of a lot
remember
of
you
my
remember a
fellow
guy
students.
named Suicide Myers?
Yeah. Oh
The
yeah. His
wrestler?
kid, I saw his kid from when his oldest kid. He was in there. I remember him at a show in Lancaster where he was
Yes.
dressed up as Kane, and he was a mini Kane, but he came out and during intermission and he was choke slamming all the guys
It
that
was
were
awesome.
breaking him.
Last
So,
night, Keith and I are at the SWO show. He's in the opening match. It's Myers versus a guy named Weber Hatfield. And Weber Hatfield has like some good old country boy theme song going on, like banjos playing and stuff like that. Weber beats his dad and his youngest, the baby,
yeah.
you know. He gets up out of his chair like his dad won, but he knew his dad didn't win because the music started playing. He starts dancing to the music. I should have took a picture of it, but
I mean,
I told Myers about it at intermission, and he goes, "Was he really?" And he looks at his son. He's like, "You're a traitor." He was dancing to his opponent's ring music. It was great.
here's a fun
Bitches
one.
get stitches.
I remember at the field house the one time when I was in the ring with Ryan Vox when he was commissioner of Outbreak, and out of nowhere, his daughter goes through the railing and tries to hop in the ring, and she does eventually, but she was only maybe she was really young back then, so it was she hopped in the ring and I was like, oh, it's like father likes a daughter, I guess.
I gotta ask Thundercat if he has wrestling matches with his daughter in the living room where she jumps off the couch and gives him elbows and swantons and stuff.
I mean, that's probably a thing. Come on,
Yeah,
I took shots for my one niece when she was like 5 years old. She was giving stiff shots. So kids can,
I'm 49 and my 8-year old is about to be 9, so I'm 40 years older than her. She can kick my butt.
yeah, kids don't hold back.
Don't.
They don't know that that
She,
hurts.
she takes my knees. She goes right for the knees, like quick shoulder to the knees, or maybe drop kick to the knees, and then I guess I let her watch too much wrestling. Whatever.
You know what? There's never too much. It could be worse. It could be there's worse stuff on TV than wrestling. So
That's
Oh,
exactly right. Matt, is there anything that we didn't talk about before we get out of here that you want to talk about?
I mean, the only thing, like I said, next month, like I said, I have a plethora of shows. Like I said, I have on Saturday the 4th. I'm up in North Arlington, New Jersey, at North Arlington High School for IWF. You'll see a bunch of different guys there. Kevin Knight. You'll see the Atkins brothers. You know, like I said, that a bunch of you can catch those posters on Instagram or Facebook. And then the week after that, I'm up in Lewistown, PA, for Honorary Wrestling for HWF again, where Jason Havoc will show that the Lewistown crowd who's the boss. That's him. So and
Well,
then the week
we'll
after
see if the
that,
Lewistown crowd takes kindly to that, but you'll see.
you know what? It's fine. You know, Jason's wrestled in Lewistown a long time, and I'm making myself, you know, a small home there. So, and then in York, PA, for PWA, there's a food drive at the York Fairgrounds.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, up in York, PA, for PWA, and it's also a mixed. They're having like a small Hall of Fame induction for their for a fellow ref, Paul, old school Paul, he calls himself. So he's being inducted into their little Hall of Fame. So
Awesome.
so excited, and he's an old school ref where the first show I got to really do the bow tie with him. So he's
The trademark bow tie.
yeah. So that was like I said, that was a little check off the bucket list. But yeah, like I said, it's a food drive up there in York, PA. So it's a good cause, free admission. Just bring some food to donate. So it's a cool one. And
What's the date on that one?
The 18th of October.
October 18th. Awesome.
Yep. And like I said, from there on, it's just wherever else. Like I said, whatever else comes up. Like I said, you know.
Well, man, you know we love catching. We love catching up with you. I'm sorry about last week and it didn't happen. It was all my fault, but I'm glad we got you on here this week.
It's all right, you know. Hey, good. You know, it's better to have some heat than no heat.
True.
I play all the time with my 8-year-old and wrestle him all the time. Chris, you didn't even have to tell me that. I know that. I mean, you know, I could tell. And he probably whoops your ass.
Oh, they shoot. They all shoot.
His son, man, his son's something else. He's a character, his son. But anyway, Matt, I appreciate you and everything you do for this business and everything you've done in the tri-state area. Also, you know, and that you continue to do it. And I know that you and the wife want to have a family, but like you said earlier, wrestling's never going to leave you. So the quicker you accept that, the better.
Yeah, like I said earlier, not until Mark's not around anymore. He's not letting me get away. So.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark Mest and the Dungeon.
Yep.
If you want information there, look up Dungeon University on Facebook page. The professor and I will. The professor and I will be
as well. Jason Havoc and then
Jason Havoc
can hit you up. They're trying to get like I said, they got the website linked to that, so you can go straight to the website. And they're all trying to get more active with Instagram as well.
Thank you.
Good job.
There you go. And the professor and I will be in Quakertown this Saturday for 3WA, and we will be doing commentary, and we will have our old friend Carolina Jim ring announcing. So it'll be good to hook up with Jim and see him and see everybody else down there in Quakertown. If you've never been to a 3WA show, come on down.
Maybe I'll make an appearance, Scott.
Ooh.
I know one of the guys there. That's a new guy there, Tyler Ski. He's
Tyler SKI, baby. He's going to be wrestling. He's going to be in action.
He's been a guy that's come along really nicely. So like I said,
the 3WA heavyweight champion, the dude is issuing an open challenge, Professor.
I saw that.
So I mean, you know, who knows who might answer that, but you got to come down to Quakertown to find out. In the meantime, Matt, it's been awesome to catch up with you, brother.
Yep. And just, you know what? You guys have a good night. It was nice talking to you.
Too.
Love it.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Referee Matt Greene, the professor, and I will be back here next Sunday with a new guest. Sundays 7. Share, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. I don't have that guest locked down yet, but so I don't want to say anything and ruin it. But you know, just got to tune in next Sunday at 7. If you like our videos, like them. If you want to get to help us spread the words, share them and tag some of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the the ever growing we have now 700 members, Professor, of the Around the Turnbuckle Facebook group, which is a great place for wrestling fans in this area to promote it, for you to put up some posters or we have an event, or you have a charity event, or anything like that, a lot of our group members just throw them on up there
Mhm.
and promote local professional wrestling. You need to save a few bucks. You tired of spending $200 to go to a WWE show? Spend 20 to go to on average to go see a local professional wrestling independent show. Professor and I will continue to do what we do, and Matt will continue to do what he does.
You will not have to sell your children to come to our shows. You can if you want, but you don't have to. That's our motto.
Wow. I'm not going to go there.
I guess it's illegal. Don't sell your children. It's not good.
For Professor Keith and referee Matt, I am Big Al. This was Around the Turnbuckle. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah! If you smile!
Calculations are correct.